Right now, as we prepare to close out the month of October, just a couple of more trading days next week, 10 out of 11 S&P sectors are set to close the month in negative territory. Been a rough month here. Utilities, the only one so-called electrified this month. Let's bring in the floor show to talk about all of the breaking news developments, the markets, and more. Joining me now, former Franklin Templeton National Spokesman Mark Zinder and Fitzgerald Group Principal Keith Fitzgerald. Mark, let me begin with you. Obviously, we are looking at a big move in the markets at this moment. You worked with John Templeton, the great investor, over so many years. Many times in history, the markets have seen huge, very upsetting headlines. How did he view them?
Well, and I don't want to make light of the situation, but if he said it to me once, he said it 100 times, you buy at the point of maximum pessimism. And we're certainly there right now. There's that saying, there have been decades where nothing happens, but then again, there are weeks where decades happen, and that's where we are right now.
Yeah. Keith, again, I think Mark is right. We understand the human toll on both sides that could be coming, but as we look at the NASDAQ, it went into correction earlier, but now today the S&P dunked its head into that correction territory. Is that what you're doing, where you're looking at some of these names and saying we're at peak negativity, at least near term?
Oh, absolutely. Because, the great Sir John Templeton, I met several times as well. Didn't spend the kind of time I did that Mark did, but, he's a mentor of mine in many ways. So you buy when people are selling despondently. So that's exactly what I'm looking to do. The war certainly accelerates the uncertainty, and that creates the opportunity. You may hate every minute of it, but if you're serious about being an investor as opposed to a trader, this is your moment.
In fact, it's maybe a moment to pick up some JP Morgan shares. We know that Jamie Dimon announced that he and his family are selling something like 1 million shares. Keith, you started dipping in, did you not? It's getting hit by about 4% at the moment.
Well, I did. As a matter of fact, I bought some today before I came on the air. People forget that executives are humans too. Maybe he's selling to fund an education, a family gift. I mean, who knows what he's doing, but he still owns 8 and something million shares. It's a great company. He grew up under Sandy Weill's tutelage. Yeah, I bought some more.
What about you, Mark? When you look at the feel of the markets at the moment, the exogenous headlines that we are seeing right now. And in fact, Fox News is reporting that a Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu advisor says military operations are underway between Israel and Gaza at the moment. Can you give us a sense of the overall picture of the market? It's not as bad as it ever was, certainly.
Sure. I also work with Michael Price, and I sat down with Michael once and he said, you want to learn how to manage money? And well, sure. And he taught me that he uses Graham & Dodd value investing price to book. And if you'll see the price to book prices,
Buffett
uses as well.
Yeah.
And of course, they use it for industrials. It doesn't work for the technology sector anymore. But right now, you're seeing some good opportunities for stocks in the financials and utilities selling below the historical average of price to book.
Well, a lot of people might think Chevron is best in class at the moment, and it's certainly discounted right now. Amazon, I want to talk about that, though, Keith, because Amazon had very good numbers, came out yesterday with those, but I thought it was a little sus, to use my kids' terminology, that they said it was cost-cutting that was making a difference. How is the holiday season starting to look for them and some of these other retailers that are very much in focus?
I think it's going to be questionable, honestly. I don't think this is a very popular opinion, but I think they've got some severe challenges. Customers are not exactly happy with them. Regulator ire is building. To me, the question of cloud computing that everybody's so focused on, they're losing market share to Google and to Microsoft, both of which had much stronger numbers over the same quarter. So I'm coming in and looking at Amazon. Great, good for them for doing it right now, but how are they going to come in 6 months, 8 months, 9 months? I'm not so sure if that's good.
And the consumer, Mark, we got the numbers today. The Fed's favorite inflation gauge wasn't exactly cool and calm. So, the inflation rate at this point, do you think the Fed needs to raise its target rate of 2% and make it more realistic?
There's two ways of looking at this. The PCE came in at 3.4%.
Year over year.
Year over year. Historically, inflation going back to 1914 has been 3.28%. So let's call it 3.3. We're at 3.4.
Yeah.
However, I do believe the Fed is probably going to go up, not on Wednesday, but probably in December.
Good to have you both on a very busy Friday. Mark and Keith, as always, thank you.